What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's doing well. Please consider hitting the subscribe and like button. In today's video, we're going to go over top 2 stocks that my community here is very interested in, right? We're going to go over Keel Infrastructure and Soluna Holdings. We're going to kind of compare the two, and I'm a little upset. I'm very glad that you guys have brought Soluna Holdings to my attention. I've been doing some digging on it the past couple of days, and I'm very, very surprised as to what they're doing, how they're moving forward, and for being such a small company, how much they got going on. It's kind of unbelievable. So we're going to go over that and kind of compare the two, do like a Keel versus Soluna type video. So I hope y'all enjoy it. And again, y'all please leave some comments down below of some companies that you guys are interested in. I know a lot of you guys are interested in the Bitcoin mining, HPC, data center plays, and that's good, but I don't want to, I want to diversify a little bit, right? I don't want to hold strictly that one sector because they move in tandem, right? They move together, and, I kind of want some names outside of that, but that are also kind of connected in the same sense with, like, they're going to benefit from the AI infrastructure build outs, right? Like, so the companies that are going to benefit from these data centers, doing their build outs, they're going to have to spend money with these other companies to build them up, right? So that's kind of what I want to start looking into next. So let me know down below if y'all know any of those companies. Anyway, Keel versus Soluna. So as everybody knows on this channel, I'm very invested in Keel Infrastructure pretty heavily. It's about 14% of my entire portfolio. So I've become pretty mega bullish on it. And Soluna, I did recently just buy into Soluna. I am officially a shareholder. I know in my past videos I told you guys that I wasn't a holder yet. But after watching and digging into the company and watching John Belizaire, which is the CEO of Soluna, I've got bullish, man. They have a lot going on, and they are moving at such a rapid pace to be only like a $250 million company, which is absolutely insane. Soluna is kind of moving and going about things the way I wish Keel Infrastructure would. They are out here posting on their social medias every single day almost, coming out with great updates, even though they're not like lease deal updates or anything like that. They're just keeping investors in the loop of what's going on, and they're moving at such a good clip. And I think Keel Infrastructure could learn from that, right? So basically comparing the two, so Keel Infrastructure is basically just a data center infrastructure play, right? They buy land, they build these data centers, and they lease them out to these HPC, AI hyperscalers that are, looking to build compute. Soluna, on the other hand, they basically do the same thing, but they're also continuing to stay in the Bitcoin hosting space, which is good. And they're also jumping into the HPC compute as well. And they're already in talks with hyperscalers for lease deals, which is amazing. But what they do is they're using renewable energy. They build these data centers on like wind farms and, use green energy to power those data centers. But the big difference between Keel and Soluna right now is that Soluna actually has stuff up operational. They have megawatts under operation, and they're also actively building out their build outs as we speak, right? They've already broke ground at several locations. They even make video vlogs of them breaking ground, and they're doing a great job keeping investors in the loop of what's going on, right? Keel, on the other hand, they're silently working in the background. They're getting all their permits and stuff figured out, working on all their permits, and I really think, hopefully, that they're going to come out on the Q2 earnings and kind of blow investors away with some announcements. Potentially tell us, they broke ground at Moses Lake. They're, doing these build outs, because as we've seen in some of the satellite images, something's going on at Moses Lake, right? There were buildings there, now they're gone. So something's going on, and Keel Infrastructure hasn't really announced anything, which is kind of strange. I wish they would just come out and with some announcements, right? That's my only gripe with Keel Infrastructure, is I wish they would move like Soluna is moving. After I dug into Soluna, I was like, oh my, this company is doing exactly what I would like a company to do for investors. They're consistently coming out with updates. They're consistently going out and doing interviews on with retail investors. They're pushing forward at a rapid pace. They just hired on Ryan Carver, which is a chief development officer. He's from Microsoft. Like they're on track to become one of the bigger data infrastructure plays in the space. And I really don't think they're getting the attention that they deserve. You know, I do think a lot of people see green energy and that kind of turns them off a little bit. But they're not only doing green energy, right? They also have data centers that are connected to the grid. They also have some coming off of solar as well. So I really do think Soluna has a bright future. But when we're comparing it with Keel Infrastructure, you know, they're kind of the same thing, right? They're kind of pushing to do the same thing. They just got different avenues of getting there, right? Also, it really did surprise me that Soluna has a bigger power pipeline than Keel Infrastructure has, right? Now, Keel Infrastructure does have the better quality real estate, in my opinion. They have the more sought-after real estate, like up in Pennsylvania, in Moses Lake, which the Moses Lake site is right across the street from an Amazon site. So that could potentially build in with Amazon if they do want to lease deal with Keel. And some, like I said, some of their facilities are just in prime real estate positions. Soluna, on the other hand, they kind of, you know, they take their positions to where the green energy is, like the wind farms and stuff like that, which is fine. And they're, you know, they got a lot of stuff out in Texas, which here lately, man, Texas has been really shooting up with data centers. Really, data centers everywhere, even here where I live in North Carolina. And North Carolina, also, I want to mention, is a pretty data center friendly state. But man, there's been talks around here of data centers that are going to be put up in the next couple of years all over the place. So it's just amazing to see. You know, we hear the things online about these data centers going up, people having problems with the data centers, but it's interesting to see in real life here, like where I live. Like, it's just interesting to see how the build outs, you know, come to fruition, how people talk about them, how the community deals with them. It's just interesting to see, because data centers are really taking over in the next couple of years due to AI. But going back to the, you know, Keel versus Soluna type deal, one's not really better than the other. I look at them both as like brother and sister. They're out, you know, for the same kind of mission to provide compute and HPC for these hyperscalers. The only difference is Soluna is staying in the Bitcoin mining space, not mining for profit, but mining, doing hosting. And Keel Infrastructure is transitioning out of the Bitcoin space entirely, right? Moving strictly into HPC. But at the end of the day, I think Soluna can kind of take the cake on this, like, versus battle. Because what they're doing, they're in the build out stage, they're breaking ground, they're actively on construction with their data centers. They're out here, you know, giving updates on the daily. Their social media is great to follow because they're posting stuff out there every day. And Keel Infrastructure is just lagging a little bit behind. Now, could that change, you know, leading into Q2 earnings and after? Of course it can, and I hope it does. I really hope Keel gets a little bit more active on social media, keeps investors engaged. And like I said, we've seen over the past couple of days that Keel Infrastructure has gotten massive exposure. They got a price upgrade from an analyst to $8. They were on CNBC, Jim Cramer talking about them. There's a lot of other people talking about them. And Keel has the upper hand in that category because there's not a lot of people out here talking about Soluna, right? It's a small core group of people that are talking about Soluna when Keel has been making the rounds in the broader investing community, which is good. And I really do think Soluna could get there one of these days as they become a bigger company. One thing working against Soluna as well is it's such a small company, and a lot of investors out here steer clear of, you know, sub $1 billion companies. And I understand it because they are mega risky, right? So that's one thing that Soluna has working against it. But also that's one thing that's a massive opportunity if we are right with the thesis, right? Finding a company at $200 million, and if they even get to where Keel's at, that is a massive trade. So anyway, guys, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Let me know who wins y'all's battle, Keel or Soluna. Do you hold both? Do you like one over the other? Who do you think is going to be able to do better in the future? Let me know. I'll be interested to know. But that's my thoughts on Keel and Soluna. I am a shareholder in Soluna now. I did officially buy a couple of days ago at about the $1.30 range. So I'm interested to see where it's at. I'm going to be a holder long term. I'm excited to listen to their first earnings call coming up next month. and we'll see where it takes us. So I will be going live for the Keel infrastructure earnings call. A lot of y'all in the comments yesterday did say, you know, please try to go live. So I'm going to try to figure something out and make it work. So hope y'all have a good rest of the day. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.